Hello guys, this is Engineer Vakas Ahmed and today I'm very excited because I'm going to share with you the knowledge of oil and gas field inside what is going on. There are different kind of divisions which you must know if you are passionate and enthusiastic engineer to join oil and gas sector in Gulf region. It is going to help you to choose your job career as per your engineering, and it is going to help you to get familiarity with oil and gas field. Before getting into the detail of this video, I would request you people to subscribe this channel, share the link of this video with your fellows, and don't forget to like this video so that in future if I make any job career oriented video, you will get that link on time. Going to tell you about oil and gas program and portfolio management. When two or more than two projects a company is going to manage, that would be called as a program management. But when there are two programs are managed by a company which have mutual benefits, then it would be called as a portfolio management. So here I'm going to share on Primavera P6 how bigger companies like Aramco, ADNOC, OGDCL, ONGC, how they are managing these bigger portfolios, programs within Primavera P6 or any project management information system. So right now you can see this is Field project program management, and it is covering each and everything. I'm going to share with you, the explanation of each milestone, which in the coming part of this video you are going to understand, like licensing phase and geological and geophysical studies, interpretation of data, exploration drilling, then formation testing, directional drilling, wireline, slick line, coil tubing, well testing. This is the higher level plan. You can say level 2 plan, in which they are going to fix all the milestones: appraisal and reservoir evaluation. Appraisal report will be documented, reservoir modeling, forecasting production, completion jewelry. All these things I will be explaining in upcoming video, and these are the different kind of these are not only WBS, these are different kind of projects actually. That is why it is called program management or portfolio management. And drilling completion, when they are going to put like completion jewelry, production and operations like reservoir management, equipment maintenance. Then there is EPC, like when you are enter into the midstream industry, then you will find feed, EPC modeling, detail engineering, procurement, construction, installation. And on the top of each and everything you can see how on Primavera P6 it is showing that there is upstream, midstream, and downstream. So complete, there are multiple projects within upstream, within midstream, and within downstream. So this is called program management. So I will be sharing this one as well. And this complete understanding of oil and gas field from very scratch level to the refinery where crude oil is being processed into kerosene oil, jet oil, diesel, petrol, and is usable for the public, right? So this is actually awareness for the oil and gas sector. So let's start knowing this field from the start level to the refinery level. So let's move on this slide, oil and gas field project. So let me share with you the very important information that we can divide our oil and gas field into three spectrums, divisions. The first one is called upstream industry. This is going to find and extract hydrocarbons. This is actually top level divisions, right? Upstream, in which you are going to find out hydrocarbons from down inside the earth subsurface area, inside the rocks, inside the sea. And it ends, it is starting from the survey task, and it is going to end when it is handed over to the production facilities. After upstream industry, there is midstream industry, which is mostly going to deal with your storage of hydrocarbons and transportations. I'm going to give you the details about each and everything. And then we have downstream. Within downstream you can see this is you can feel that this is the ending part. So it is mostly dealing with the processes, refineries, processing or separation of your hydrocarbons into different kind of products, fuels, chemicals, and distribution, marketing. So majorly you have to understand our complete oil and gas industry is going to be divided into three major divisions: upstream, midstream, and downstream. Further, from starting from the first milestone to the end milestone, covering all these three divisions, we have these kind of phases. Exploration or licensing, then geological surveys or studies, drilling, appraisal, and reservoir evaluation. Within this video, I'm going to cover all these things one by one. It doesn't matter you haven't seen any kind of oil and gas video, or you have not even study about such kind of material. By the help of this video, you are going to get concrete knowledge and very informative content that you will be implementing on your job career and the complete knowledge. Then production forecast, concept design, feed, detail engineering, procurement, construction and installations, completion and well development, commissioning and startup, and then production and operations. I'm going to discuss all these things step by step. It is going to be very interesting and amazing for you people. So the first thing is exploration and licensing, which is actually the part of upstream industry. So in this section, this is very start of our oil and gas field. As of now, it is very obvious, from the name exploration and licensing. The milestone, this milestone is actually dealing with exploration rights. Like we need to have some legal permissions, permit to work. So what we need to do in this companies which are going to take part in this phase, the identify exploration blocks, like if they are going to go to Abu Dhabi, Sheffield, Zirku, Tanajib in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, they are going to identify in which offshore, onshore area they are going to make exploration. And then bid submission, they are going to take part in that bid submission, which is proposed, or which can propose their goals, their financial competency, technical, and all that, which is actually the documentation part. And then award of license, the company, the client, the Aramco, ADNOC, PDO, Qatar Energy, Kuwait Petroleum, all these client are OGDCL or ONGC in India, they are going to give them the legal rights if they are eligible to work for this purpose or task, right? So award of license is something like that. And then documents which they need to produce, like geological reports. Obviously seismic surveys mean before drilling, they have to conduct a survey, seismic survey, through which they are actually going to put the sound waves, and after that they are going to get those sound waves, and the impact difference is going to let them know that is there hydrocarbons, or the possibility of hydrocarbons is there or not. There is a complete science about that as well. So that kind of survey is called seismic survey. So on the basis of that graph, and on the basis of those all estimation surveys, they are going to produce their potential presence of those hydrocarbon, because it involves $1 million or sometimes $1 billion in exploration and finding out hydrocarbons in specific area. Then bid documents and technical proposals. Okay, government issued exploration permits, permit to work, you can say. Then authorities involved, government agencies, which I have already mentioned, like Ministry of Petroleum, the companies which I have mentioned, Aramco, ADNOC, something like that. And then regulatory bodies like environmental societies, which are going to concern with your impact of that activity on environment around that area. Then purpose, to legally gain access to explore hydrocarbons, that this actually milestone is going to get that company on that legal permit, right, in that specific area. And then companies involved, this is very important for you people, that what kind of companies are involved, are taking part such kind of work and all that. So There are ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, Total Energy, British Petroleum, and there are many more as well. And this is the first milestone. The second milestone is geological. First license is done. Now they are going to start their work. They are going to produce their studies. So they are going to have milestone locate potential hydrocarbon reservoirs. Now their seismic survey, which I have been explaining in my last slide, they are going to conduct all these things. So this is specific milestone. So what are the activities involved? There are multiple kind of surveys: 2D, 3D, 4D. You can understand, if there is a 2D survey, it means there is a you can see that there is a margin of 25 to 35%. If 3D, more accurate. If 4D, then it is more accurate. So that is how you can differentiate between 2D, 3D, and 4D kind of things. Geo physical data interpretation, analyze collected data. Now the people who are working in the field as a seismic survey expert, they are going to collect that data, that hydrocarbon graphs. Believe me, I have been working in that field, and I have witnessed that this is quite kind of very interesting. When hydrogen and oxygen curves are going to cross each other, they are going to make oval shape, and in that is actually indicating that yes, there is a hydrocarbon. So such kind of data is going to need to be interpreted for the further steps need to be taken. So for the reservoir evaluation, then exploration strategy, that how we should target this specific area. And then documents which are involved: seismic interpretation reports, okay, subsurface models. On the basis of that report, you are going to make the complete model that is going to give you the preliminary estimate that okay, on the basis of this data, the engineers, the reservoir engineers, expert specialist, or oil and gas company laboratories, they are going to interpolate that data and make models, reservoir formation, boundaries, and all that. And environmental baseline studies. Here, authorities involved again: the environmental authorities, the client, Ministry of Petroleum, and local governments. And purpose, what is the purpose? To make sure hydrocarbons are there. It's not 100% sure, but if you get 60 to 70%, like first seismic survey is going to give you like 50% presence of hydrocarbons, then this data analysis is going to make sure that 60 to 70% presence of hydrocarbons. Now companies involved are Schlumberger, Halliburton, Baker and Hughes, and Weatherford, and many other companies, but these are the major players. Then we have the next milestone. After this data analysis, the modeling is done, then we have the strategy of exploration drilling. Just imagine each and everything, that in the first milestone, what we are supposed to do: taking the license, the legal permit to work. Then second one, the seismic survey. Now we are going to make the strategy. So this milestone is going to deal with the confirmation, right, the maximum possibility of oil and gas presence in that specific area, right? So activities involved in this phase, the major things are drilling permits. Now companies are sure they are going to take part in drilling, so they are going to implement or apply for the drilling permits, and secure approval to drill exploratory wells. First of all, they have to, there are two kind of wells: exploratory and development. Exploratory wells means when you are not that much sure, like this is not 100%, you have to study yet about all the reservoir in the complete way. So we will call it exploratory well. One, it will be confirmed, and we are intended to drill for the cause to take back all the hydrocarbons, oil and gas on the surface. We are successful, then we will call it development wells or development drilling. So secure approval to drill exploratory wells, then drill exploration wells, test reservoir identified in seismic surveys. The information we got initially during the seismic survey, we are going to get through that information. We will make double check through drill exploration wells, okay. And then evaluate reservoir properties, because deep inside the earth there are many factors like pressure, permeability, fluid type. These are very important factors which are going to give you big information about that reservoir. So I can show you reservoir information as well. That is how it look like reservoir, right? So that all boundary you can see right now, this all boundary will be identified by such kind of factors like pressure. They are going to design each and everything. They are going to define the limit of reservoir deep down in the earth, right? And that is going to actually evaluate the reservoir, the capacity, how much hydrocarbons capacity is there. Then there is evaluation of commercial use as well, the economical feasibility, that how much we can make $1 billion out of this reservoir, right? On the basis of that financial analysis, we are going to spend further money on such kind of projects. So after this well planning documents, like I have told you, that on the basis of that reservoir capacity, we are going to see that how our well is going to produce hydrocarbons. Drilling permits and compliance reports, okay, well logging, these are all the things which will be the part of our onward oil and gas well operations. Then drilling and safety regulators, like we have to take care about the human life, asset safety and all that while doing all these works. And then purpose of this is to verify the presence, type and volume of hydrocarbons, that was I was explaining already. And companies involved, Transocean, Noble Drilling, Sea Drill, Nabras and many other companies, they are going to take part as a rig, right? So this is the third milestone, right, in which you are going to make exploratory drilling. And the next milestone is appraisal and reservoir evaluation. Appraisal and reservoir evaluation, now you are drilling down inside the earth crust, and you are on that specific region area. So here in this milestone, you are at that edge, that you need to define the size of your reservoir on the basis of that data: pressure, permeability, skin factor, porosity and many other things. So what are the activities? Drill appraisal wells, determine reservoir boundaries and connectivity inside that earth crust, like deep inside the earth, 10,000 feet depth. You are going to circulate the area, define the boundaries of oil and gas pool over there, right? And that is actually going to find out your reservoir evaluation, reservoir modeling on the basis of that data available, which you are going to get data through exploratory drilling. It is going to help you a lot. Exploration drilling, then confirm the presence of hydrocarbon, it's done actually already. So drilling permits, it's already done actually. And documents already done, authorities, again the same kind of thing. But here what is the difference? You are going to take that data and evaluate. The appraisal, like economical survey, is mostly involved in this, the fourth milestone. Then now you got everything, right? You got the things, the data, the evaluation, modeling and economical survey as well, that how much you can produce from this reservoir after modeling that reservoir boundaries. Now estimate recovery rates, how much you are going to spend and how much you are going to get benefits, right? A return of investment, ROI. So that exactly depending on your production rates are forecast. So documents appraisal well reports, which in previous milestones we have compiled, reserve and resource estimates, right? And then update geological models. Authorities involved in this, certification bodies, government authorities. Purpose, commercial viability, like economical forecasting, that how much ROIs, right? And the companies involved, like same, the upstream companies like Halliburton, Schlumberger, Weatherford, Baker and Hughes, and all these companies are doing these jobs. So along with this understanding of this milestone to milestone about this oil and gas field, you should know that if you are interested in upstream industry, what kind of all the electrical, mechanical, petroleum, industrial, chemical engineers are eligible to work in this field. Even civil engineers are also there. So you should take care about development of your skills. make sure, if you are interested to work in such kind of companies during your graduation, start learning or doing internships in these companies. They are taking interns, and then when they are going to hire, then they are going to give this chance on the first priority on those interns, right? So after this, services involved. Now this is going to be very important. When you are going to make this exploratory well, there are different kind of operations which you need to understand. So drilling, that was the first thing, which is going to take part to make that well from dead to alive, right, from nothing to everything. So drilling is the first thing you are going to conduct. The directional drilling, when the reservoir is not straight way, is in approach, you have to make some directional drilling, like there is 90% angle, I will be explaining. And wireline is the service department. Open hole, there is a category of wireline: open hole, cased hole, then slick line, coil tubing, well testing, early production facilities, frac, and pumping. All these operations would take part in this phase, step by step, on the basis of recommendation by the well experts. And then they are going to make sure that how this well is going to produce. By these operations, we are going to understand horizontal drilling. The information, this is actually involves a well bore that starts work vertically and then deviates at a sharp angle, like it is drilling something like that, but at some point the reservoir is over here. So it was not possible to drill from here, so they are going to make at 90. So there are specific tools. They are like companies: Schlumberger, Halliburton, Weatherford. We call it MWD or LWD. Okay, so that is called directional drilling, right? And maximize contact with the hydrocarbon bearing formation. Formation is called the reservoir boundary, the that earth area within that reservoir boundary, whatever where there is oil and gas hydrocarbons are inside. So that is called formation actually. So method: using specialized downhole motors and steering tools. LWD, logging while drilling, and measuring while drilling. These are two important further careers in which they are going to learn each and everything how to conduct this directional. Wireline services. This is very important job career line for engineers who are enthusiastic or passionate to work in upstream oil and gas field. We can call it E line as well, electric line. This is something you can visualize right now. You are going to run in whole of that well bore area with very advanced tools which are going to give you signal through their string. That string is called E line. So that is why we call it wireline or E-line services. This is highly paid job career, same like drilling department. And what are the services? Wireline operation uses a cable to convey tools into the wellbore for various measurements and interventions. They are typically broken down into open hole logging, like when your well is in initial stage, then there is no casing. So at that time, within that area, when they are getting into that without any casing, we can call it, I will be sharing with you. When you are going to drill, so this is your well bore area, but here you are going to make piping. This is called your casing. So okay, so this is your piping. So when you are going to run in hole with this string with a specific tool, this is your tool, this is your that cable, and something like that you can visualize right now. See, this is the engineer, and this is going to take the area. So when there is a casing, this is called cased hole logging. And but when there is no pipe, only well bore area, this is going to be called open hole logging, right? So open hole logging actually conducted before the well is cased. That's what I mean, right? Before there is casing mean piping inside the well bore area. So gather information, evaluation data, porosity, permeability, resistivity. These are the things. This is actually important discipline or career line which is going to provide you that information on which your reservoir boundary will be defined. So there are specific tools like PLD, production logging tool. There are many other things which I'm not able to cover in this video, but yes, The wireline purpose in the initial open hole logging is to gather data, which is going to provide you all the reservoir boundary like porosity, permeability, and all that, to define productive zones, water zones. Okay, then tool use are electric logs, sonic logs, density, neutron logs, NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance tools. And cased hole logging, when well is totally cased, pipe is inside the well, at that time you are going to conduct this service, and that time you are going to call it cased hole logging. And purpose, this well integrity, monitor reservoir performance. This is actually something when you are going to get such kind of data when well is developed, the cased hole logging. And tools use production logging tool, cement bond logs, neutron logs, and all that. Slickline operation. Slickline is same like wireline, but it is manual, something like not electric, manual. Slickline is a single strand wire, non-electrical, used for various well interventions and maintenance tasks. Purpose: run in hole with tools in the well to set or retrieve plugs, because this is something well is as a big conduit which is going to be set as a medium to take reservoir hydrocarbons from 10,000 feet reservoir to the surface area. So within that completion jewelry or casing or piping, we have different kind of valves, we have different kind of piping. So we have to set that completion jewelry with well designed by the specially designers. So somewhere we have to set the plugs, in some emergency we need to close the well, something like that. So for that specific things are maintenance, if something is stuck there, something is not working good, so slick line is going to run in hole. So advantage is it is a simpler, cheaper, and quicker than using a workover rig or coil tubing. It's something very quick kind of service. And then coil tubing. Coil tubing is something, slick line is going in the well through gravity. Coil tubing is the something that is only string. This is not a string, this is a very thin piping through which we can inject nitrogen, water, acids, so such kind. And also we can make force to get into those areas where slick line is, or wire line is not possibly can get enter into those areas, right? So coil tubing can put the thrust force as well. So coil tubing, flexible steel pipe, and it can be inserted in the wells under pressure. Yes, because when oil and gas is coming upside, at that time there is a pressure. So these under gravity things cannot go into that regions, but coil tubing can get into those regions as well. So these all operations like drilling is going on to take the data to drill the that well to get on that spot, right? Then wireline is to take the data from the reservoir, like porosity, volume, pressure. Then slick line is going to help you people. Then open hole, cased hole, no, coil tubing is also there, acid stimulation, nitrogen. So these all things are very important to gather data to make finalization of the reservoir report. Then well testing, this is the ultimate thing in which you are going flow your well, and temporary flow of reservoir fluids from a well to measure its productivity and characteristics. Believe me, it is the thing where I have been part of my initial career. Well testing can be conducted in variety of stages. When your well is in exploratory mode, you can flow your fluids into a choke manifold. Then there is a separator. Separator is going to segregate your hydrocarbons, oil, in gas and water, and then sand. They are going to get the different kind of contents. So you are going to calculate velocity, productivity rates. You are going to make your wellhead pressure, how much reservoir this is the ultimate discipline which is going to define the data, that how much wellhead pressure. On the basis of that wellhead pressure, flowing pressure, you are going to get idea that what is going on inside the reservoir, how much boundary is there. There are many methodologies, there are many softwares which are going to operate on the basis of that well testing fluid data, and well testing static data, and going to model your reservoir. And later on the basis of this well testing, they are going to design like 10,000 psi pressure of gas or oil. They are going to design on the basis of this data what kind of piping we need, what kind of valves we need to install. So this data is very, very important, right? See, purpose: determine pressure, temperature, flow rates, fluid composition, evaluate reservoir performance, equipment, surface test packages, separator, gauge tankage, choke manifold, downhole gauges. Short time when it is exploratory, they are short time just to calculate the equations for the flow rates, for the static data. But for the later on, when well is established, again we need well testing time to time to recover our fluids and diagnose if there is something going on, like for maintenance and all that. And early production facilities, this is the same through this is the early production facilities, same like well testing. You are going to get that well, reservoir, hydrocarbons. Temporary production system used to bring a well online quickly before permanent facilities are built. Like, you are not aware of those things, that what kind of piping we need to install. So you are going to conduct early production facilities. After this data, again the same thing, you are going to draft like designing data, like stress analysis for the piping, what kind of valves you need, what kind of emergency shutdown systems, uh, chemicals and all that, right? And H2S purpose: fast track production, gather extended production data, components same like well testing, test separators, heaters, fluid handling equipment. And then advantages: speed up monetization. Monetization mean to say that your well is going to be in that zone that it is going to produce oil and gas, hydrocarbons, and you are going to get money, right? So that is EPF. Frac. Frac is something like, with this is again to pump the acid into the formation area, reservoir. So hydraulic fracturing is the process of pumping. If the reservoir is very hard, it is giving you the resistivity, you are going to pump that acid with high pressures to break down that, to frac that formation, to open up that one so that hydrocarbons can come out of that one, right? And to improve the flow rates. Purpose: increase a formation permeability and productivity, right? So process high pressure pumps, right? Yeah, I have been working there with well testing, Frac, coil tubing, with wireline, with Slickline. I have been working such kind of setups in Abu Dhabi. Frac people are really giants people, like they are dinosaurs. So yes, they are injecting hell of acid into the well, and they are going to make flow rates more as per the well specialist instructions, right? So multi-stage fracturing, right? This would be recommended, that at what stage, at what depth of the well they have to pump the acid fracturing and all that. Pumping is along the fracturing companies, there are big pumps, and they are going to pump that nitrogen aciding and all that, and get the required results. So all these services, from drilling, wireline, slick line, coil tubing, well testing, frac, pumping, all these are actually to enhance productivity. Are in the initial stage, they are going to get the data out of the well to define that reservoir boundaries, so that they can ultimately define economical reporting, that how much we can come out of this reservoir, how much oil, how much gas. Is that well is oil well, gas well, or water well, right? So these all services. As of now, I will be highlighting one more point over here, that you can join drilling, you can join well testing, coil tubing, and slick line, frag, pumping. These are the upstream fields. But a lot of people are having one question, that how we are going to join. A lot of these companies are not going get into the experience, whatever they are going to pick fresh graduates. Actually, that is the method I'm going to share with you people. They are going to pick fresh engineers from the universities with good CGPAs, like Schlumberger, Halliburton, Weatherford, Baker and Hedges. Or somewhere you are attending their SPE recruiting event, they are going to hire you. You should visit UAE, Saudi Arab, Qatar, Oman, or you have links there, you have make internships there, you should apply online there. These are the possibilities, you can get hired there. High salary job careers, but the job careers are very rough and tough in initial 5 to 6 years. You have to travel a lot, You will learn a lot across the world. You will have schoolings. They don't care you have experience or not. They will provide you all the schooling, re-engineering. Actually, they are going to give you all that dummy drilling areas, and they will make you expert in that. So they have complete career path for you people. But your life is like in more traveling, but you are going to get more money. So this is the upstream field. So when all these operations are done, now all the companies, experts, specialists, all the stakeholders are the around the table. They are sitting around the table, and they are going to define that now what we need to do post drilling well evaluation stage. So once a well is drilled, companies conduct well testing, reservoir evaluation data is there, reservoir modeling is done, formation analysis is done, which I have explained already. Now they are going to put their FDP, field development planning, how much we have to put cost into this field, what is ROI, return of investment. So these are economical understanding, that how much we have to put into this field after knowing the reservoir potential or capacity. Along with that, we have pressure, we have temperature, we have hydrocarbon behavior. Like pressure is the most key player in this for designing your pipelines, for the designing of your equipment. So we are going to estimate that what kind of material we require to meet the safety and all that, right? Most of the times we need 1502, like high pressure and high temperature upstream pipelines, equipments and all that. So all these things are coming around us in this FDP planning, like field development planning, right? So here we are going to define that how we have to get the strategy further on. So from here, midstream is going to start. From midstream, you can see that one by one concept selection. First of all the stakeholders are going to define that how we are going to take this project, this hydrocarbon from this stage to onward to make it more productive. There are many things involved, like reservoir planning engineer. They are going to define that how much choke size. Choke is actually the opening through which oil and gas are going to travel, and reservoir is not depleting its pressure. Like with the passage of time, if we are going to make wide opening of that choke inside the pipeline of of wellhead, then all the reservoir pressure is going to lost, and we are going to lose all those things. Like we need to maybe later on install submersible pumps, artificial pumping and all that. That is most costly, but this is the blessing of God if we have pressurized reservoir. So we have to define choke manifold size, all the things coming into our consideration. So the concept selection is actually preliminary development scenarios. The operator means the employer, like ADNOC, Aramco, OGDCL. They are going to consider various development options, like either we are working offshore, so we need fixed platforms like in Gulf region, subsea, tiebacks, onshore facilities, floating productions like Gulf of Mexico or Norway, and technical and economical screening, preliminary cost estimates, production forecast, and risk assessment. The same thing I told you people, that by our seismic surveys to our formation analysis, our different kind of operations which we have been conducting on our well. So on the basis of that data, we will be able our to estimate the cost we are going to recover from this hydrocarbons reservoirs, production forecast, and risk assessment, like what kind of risk we might have in future, right? So early economic evaluations, companies actually, earlier I have told you, are going to calculate capex and opex as well. Capital expenses, which are actually going to represent your major assets like tanks, pipelines, your boilers, your production chambers, your major your physical assets. Whereas opex or operating expenses are going to relate with your daily wages, your maintenance cost, something like that. So that is what they are going to calculate during this phase. And after that, key outcomes of this FDP, like field development planning, selection of a preferred development concept. They are going to define that how we have to come, across the table, that different kind of ideas. That is the outcome of this milestones. Then after this, they are going to start with feed document, front and engineering design, and this is quite interesting for the people who are passionate to start their job career in planning and control, because this is purely EPC model. So from here to onward, this is going to become like a EPC, engineering, procurement, and construction. Feed is called front end engineering design, on the basis of your data, on the basis of your piping data, your pressure, your well, reservoir behavior. You are going to suggest what kind of piping equipments you need to procure, right? So once the development concept is chosen, the project is deemed viable, the feed phase begins. This is the bridge between high level concept selection and the detailed design. And the feed objectives, the you can see that outline the process flow, piping, instrumentation diagrams, equipment configurations, identify major equipments like separators, compressors, pumps, pipelines, risers, and conduct technical studies and design criteria. Within feed, you are supposed to perform detailed simulation of fluid flow, pressure drops, and thermal analysis through well testing, or different kind of flow you are going to conduct through that, different sizing of choke manifold. And on the basis of that data, your reservoir specialists are going to identify or diagnose your well reservoir behavior. So then they are going to recommend what kind of choke size is most ideal for this. Okay. And determine material of construction corrosion allowance. It is very important. NACE MR1075 is the standard which is going to control your corrosion allowance. There is H2S, risk is involved there. H2S is very lethal gas, which is going to take you away from your life in 4 to like 8 seconds if the concentration is really high, right? So you have to take care about all of these things while designing your equipment, while designing your field and all that. Develop project specifications, ASME, ANSI, API. These specifications matters a lot. Then preliminary engineering of piping and structure. There are stress analysis involved in this one. Identify the best way to route flow lines from the well to the processing facility like refineries, processing units, and develop preliminary structure design for platforms, models, skid based on load and environmental conditions. Cost estimations and schedules. Like I have already explained you people that your now onward EPC, there are many EPC projects. You can identify that okay, this is the separate project, this is separate project. So for separate projects which are coming under the umbrella of program management, because program is going to deal with two or more than two projects, so each project will be under a discussion of different cost estimations, their capex estimations, their opex estimations, their challenges, their safety, the different kind of standards, and preparation of final investment decisions. When you are going to accumulate all of your projects together at one place, then you are going to think again to make your final FID, final investment decision, which is going to give a way out to the operator and consultants to make a best strategy, economical one and technical one, so that you can proceed and you can make successful results out of this program. Authorities involved in such kind of EPC projects are majorly relevant to environmental and technical approval bodies, local communities, and then purpose of this feed is to finalize cost effective and technical oriented field development. And then companies involved are Technip, FMC, Worley, McDermott, Descon, and many other companies you can find out there, right? Jacobs, Black Cat, and many oil and gas Parsons. So that is Woods. This is also PMC. They are going to work inside these kind of things. And then we have final investment decision, FID. After completing feed, the company's leadership and financial partner review the feed deliverable. They are going to review feed and they are going to give green signal to the FID, scope definition, what kind of work we need to uh, proceed with, like cost estimation, schedule, risk profile, resource higher level requirement, material requirement plans, if they are satisfied with the project return on investment, like financial studies, if they're okay with that, they sanction the project, releasing the budget for detail engineering and construction. So key outcomes of this FID is project officially transition from planning to execution actually. Contractors for detailed design, procurement, construction, and installation are then awarded. Project is officially announced and awarded and all that. And then further on, your EPC model will be launched, like EPC. So here, once the project has received FID approval, financial investment decision is there, it moves into the EPC phase, where the conceptual and feed level designs become tangible facilities. Detail engineering design is there, finalize each and everything, piping designs, P&ID drawings, structural drawings, everything is there. Your platform, how many decks are there going to be constructed in offshore area, flow lines, your PFD drawings, process flow diagrams, choke manifold, separator, what kind of dia, everything is there, right? Procurement, then your company with EPC model, they are going to start in overlapping method, like 30% design model, 60% design model, 90% design model. They are going to make categorizations of different kind of procurement materials, like bulk material, then long lead items, and they are going to label that what kind of material under coming under the long lead items. So they are going to make their project procurement schedules, like you need spools, you need flow meters, you need sensors. These are the long lead items, so we need to carry out the planning of procurement items on very early stage of our EPC, so that when our project schedule is going to our execution is going to start, our long lead items should not impact on our project schedule. So if you are an engineer, mechanical, chemical, industrial, even civil engineer, and you want to join oil and gas sector, you should understand EPC industry, you should understand maintenance planning and control, you should understand Primavera P6, you should understand how they are going to make time management, cost management, and how they are going to make resource management. These are the managerial skills which will authorize an engineer to understand how these things will be implemented in the field, either you are working in upstream, downstream, or midstream. This is the biggest skill set which ultimately will help you to recognize your profile, and you will become in very short term way like a project manager or leading job career guy, right? So if you want to learn such kind of skill sets with EPC industry or shutdown industry kind of skills from any stage of project planning control of oil and gas field, you can join my sessions as well. I'm delivering there complete live sessions in which I am going to conduct these EPC models, like pipelines, like EPC project, like oil and gas field development, right? Even there are many construction industry oriented projects, like or building, like airport constructions. The airport is not part of this oil and gas field, but in case if somebody is watching out there, like from civil industry, so they can enroll in my upcoming paid session of Primavera P6 project planning control, 4 to 6 weeks live training, and it is going to give you a lot of amazing learning and many more amazing things as well. So here, getting back to the point, that procurement, a planning engineer need to decide with their crew, with their higher management, that when we need to procure the items, like because this project schedule will be defined, and on the basis of those milestones will be set, like this month we need flow meters, so we are going to contact with our vendors, suppliers, and then they are going to get back to us with all the specifications, with all the procurement schedules, right? Then the third party which are going to be awarded with our fabrication contracts, they are going to start fabricating pipelines, their vessels, tanks, separators, choke manifolds, whatever, right? So that project work is going to start. Then at the end, they are going to, when everything is done, as per your project schedule, that equipment will be installed and hook up to the wellhead, production line. On the wellhead, you can find there is production line, there is a complete Christmas tree, swab valve, flow line, kill line, master valve, and to the flow line, this pipeline will be hooked up, and this flow line will be going through the production facilities, through separator, through knockout drums, there are different kind of procedures involved, and ultimately it will be connecting to the production line, to the which is leading it towards the refinery processing units, which is downstream part. And then commissioning and startup, once this project is installed, hookup is done, you have successfully done your process flow diagrams, right? So every equipment is on the place, installed, everything is testing is done successfully, then commissioning and startup. And then of course detail engineering and design milestone. This this was, I was explaining in the context of scheduling, but this is scheduling is done, right? So here I'm going to summarize this video by having this knowledge which I spent actually there like 10 years in the field as a field specialist. I was working in well testing, and then I transferred my job career into project management, project planning control, because I just want to make sure about job career oriented insights as well, that if there are engineers out there who are watching this video, they must learn the things like how this field is going to start, like from where, like a licensing, exploration, drilling, like drilling of exploratory wells, taking samples, analyzing the data for the formation analysis, in which there are many other services are involved, right? Once data is done, your reservoir modeling is done, you are 100% sure hydrocarbons are there, then there are laboratory reports which are going to define about that region, what kind of zones, what kind of reservoirs are there, gas or oil. There are GOR values, gas oil ratios. If that ratio is more than 5,000 or less than 5,000, then respectively that would be a gas or oil well, right? So there are condensate involved, that is a separate study, right? So on the basis of that data analysis, when reservoir capacity is estimated, cost, economical studies, technical studies, on the basis of that designing data, everything is done, they are going to define that now how to proceed with our EPC models. That is the whole understanding. And there are not only single project involved, there are multiple projects involved, there are hundred of companies are participating in such kind of portfolio management. So at the end, I will let you know that this upstream industry is offering high salary job careers in directional drilling, in wireline, in well testing, in coil tubing, in pumping, Frac, Schlumberger, Halliburton. These are the key players in these service lines. Schlumberger, Halliburton, Weatherford, Baker Hughes, and there are many other companies, but these are the major world class leaders. Whereas the client or operator employers are ADNOC, Aramco, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar Energy, OGDCL, ONGC. These are the bigger, client side players. So now, one thing I want to share with you, this is the rough and tough. Upstream industry is always rough and tough. You will earn more, but you have to travel more. This is something like that. If you are passionate to travel, if you are passionate to work more, and you want to survive for next 10 years without family, anytime anybody can call you and you can go there on the one single phone call, you are, agree to work on any time regardless of your smooth sleep and all that, our family time, you must join upstream industry. It is for the passionate people. Then I would suggest, if you want to join oil and gas sector as a planning engineer, this is the white collar job. You are going to sit inside head offices, you are going to play for a longer time as a project planning engineer, senior planning engineer, team and manager, then project manager. Because after the way I have delivered this all milestones to you people, that is how that guy is going to work. Even you are a fresh engineer, you are a mid career level player or mid career level engineer or senior level engineer, you must try to learn project management skill sets and then try to apply in the companies which are offering such kind of job roles. Consultants and clients would love to hire people having skills in project management, Primavera P6, good understanding of EPC understanding, concepts, EPC, concept selection, feed, economical understanding, feasibility, how they are going to make reports and all that. So if you want to learn all of these skill sets, specifically about Primavera P6, complete project planning control, EPC, project planning control, delay analysis and claims management, which is really wonderful and very much high demanded in oil and gas sector, then you should must join my live online session in which I'm going to deliver you each and everything. See you inside my next video, and share this video link with your fellows and your other friends, class fellows, with your friends if you find this video valuable and worthy to watch. Subscribe this channel and make sure that you should share this link with your other fellows as well. Thank you very much.